Good Thursday morning. Numbers 23, verse 19 says, "And God is not like man, that he should lie." Sometimes we have a hard time trusting the Lord. We think we know better. We think we know more than the Creator. Such is the case of the first king of the northern tribes, those 10 tribes, once the kingdom was divided because of Solomon's apostasy. In 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 29 says, "During that time, the prophet Ahijah, the Shilonite, met Jeroboam on the road as Jeroboam came out of Jerusalem. And Ahijah had wrapped himself with a new cloak, and the two of them were alone in an open field. So he says, hey, let me show you something." Ahijah took off his new cloak and he tore it into 12 pieces. And he said, "This is what the God of Israel says. Take 10 pieces for yourself, Jeroboam. I am about to tear the kingdom out of Solomon's hands. I'm going to give you 10 tribes. But one tribe will remain with Solomon's people for the sake of Israel, for the sake of Jerusalem, the city I chose out of all the tribes of Israel." And he said, "But however, I'm not going to take the whole kingdom from him. I'm going to leave him one." But he says, "I will take 10 tribes of the kingdom from his son and give them to you." So from 29 to 36, we hear the Lord saying that. And he will say, "And I will appoint you, and you will reign as king over all you want, and you'll be king over Israel. After that, if you obey all I command you, when you walk in my ways, and you do what is right in my sight, in order to keep my statutes and my commands, just as my servant David did, I will be with you." Sounds like Joshua 1 and 9. "I will build you a lasting dynasty, just as I built for David, and I will give you Israel. I will humble David's descendants because of their unfaithfulness, but now not forever." So we come to Jeroboam. He has these kingdoms. He built Shechem. We go over to 1 Kings chapter 12. And then as he was building, he got to thinking, you know what? The kingdom might return to the house of David, because if the people have to regularly go back over to the temple in Jerusalem, their hearts are going to be turned back again to Rehoboam and Judah. And then they'll kill me and they'll go back to the king of Judah. He's like, I can't let them do that. I'm going to have to do something. He sought advice. I don't know who he sought advice from. It doesn't say he prayed. It says he sought advice. We need to be careful who we receive advice from. Then he made 2 golden calves. What does that sound like? Aaron in the desert, in the wilderness. And he said, listen, y'all don't have to go back to Jerusalem. That's such a difficult journey. Here are your gods. He set one up in Bethel, and he put the other in Dan. And that led to sin. The people walked before one of the calves, like that calf was their God. And you would look at this and say, that is ridiculous. He made 2 golden calves, and then he set them up, and they said, okay, that's going to be our God. That's where we're going to worship. But before you get too critical, think about some of the things that we make our gods. The Lord said, if you will obey my commands and my statutes. Sometimes we make our children our God, our careers, our jobs, our finances, our homes, our vehicles, worry, procrastination, stress, anything and anyone that we put before the Lord is an idol. And Jeroboam figured he knew better. He's like, my power, my pride, I can't let them go back over there to Jerusalem, to that temple, because I'm going to lose them. They keep making that journey. They're going to mess around and get manipulated, and they'll be back over there with Rehoboam and Judah. And then they will kill me. And all of this would have been for nothing. But had he trusted the Lord, who said, just obey my commands and do as I tell you, I'm going to give you those 10 tribes. You're going to be over all of them. I'm going to give you a dynasty just like I gave it to David. Today, what has the Lord promised you? And you're like, I can't believe that. I'm going to have to do my own thing. And then you end up following after idols. I've had to stop myself from the television becoming an idol, material possessions becoming an idol, even writing. Because most of the time I'm writing lessons that the Lord has taught me. But sometimes he's saying, Sharon, you just need to listen, trust, and obey. Following Jesus is more important than anything else. Jeroboam is an example of what not to do in the scriptures. When the Lord said, trust me and follow my commands, follow my statutes and my laws. That's what he means. And when he says, I will do, he is not like man that he should lie. So let's not get wrapped up in false idols. Let's not think we know better than our Creator. Let's obey, trust, and follow the Lord. And this is from 1 Kings chapter 11 and chapter 12. I love you. The Lord loves us, and he so wants us to love one another. And God willing, I'll see you the next day. Don't forget to be thankful this Thursday. Bye.